should be under recipes. Recipes term 2. Alright, so we are making the sugar cookies. The good thing about sugar cookies is they don't take very long to cook, they don't take very long to cool. So, but we don't want sugar cookies to get too brown. Okay, it's important that they're just cooked. So you don't want any more brown on your cookie than that, because you're going to decorate them, and so you don't want dark brown cookie. You want this lovely like honey colour on your cookies. The other thing about a sugar cookie recipe is it's important that it doesn't rise very much. You don't want them to rise and puff out like many other cookies do. You want them to be reasonably flat and maintain their shape, because as you can see, I've got a few intricate shapes. Like that's a unicorn, this one's a pussycat, okay? And when you've got these little thin shapes, the Eiffel Tower, okay? And you don't want that to spread, you want it to maintain its shape. So when you decorate the cookie, it looks like what you have actually want it to look like. So the first thing we need to do is we need to cream the butter and sugar. Now it says 1 cup of sugar, which is 226 grams of sugar. I just kind of round that down to 225, which makes a whole lot more sense.
What?
So 225 grams, because 226 is, I know, a bit anal, I don't know, a bit slightly too obsessive compulsive when it comes to measurement. So we need to turn on that, cut that off. It's 188. 226. So it's 220, just do 225 of butter. And it's unsalted butter, guys, not salted. Okay, we add salt. So if you use salted butter, which you can use, don't add salt to your recipe. There's enough salt in the butter. Okay, just wipe my hands. And we're going to put a cup. Now, we can use cups for the dry ingredients, that's not a problem. But filling a cup with butter does not make any sense to me at all. So it's 1 cup of sugar. So basically it's a cup of butter, a cup of sugar. But we're going to use the grams because it's more accurate. If you don't pack the butter in properly, you'll end up with air bubbles in there, you won't have enough butter. Okay? What's going on there? Now guys, we can use the stand mixers when we make these. Good news is that we are going to be able to have a high tea of sorts. And I thought it might be nice to do a thank you to the teachers high tea. So it'll be the last Friday of school. I will be sending home an email because I will be expecting you to stay after school. Okay, so we'll be serving it the last Friday, not the last Friday of school, the Friday of week 9. Okay, so Friday of week 9 will be the day you actually do the high tea. We're going to have to do a few of the social distancing things, so we won't set tables, and we're going to get the staff to bring their own cups. Okay, so they'll bring their own mugs down with them so that they can drink tea out of their own mug. But I'm thinking if each group cooks 3 or so of the recipes, we will have more than enough food to feed everybody. Because not all the staff will come on a Friday afternoon, but any staff that likes free food will come. Alright. So I'm putting this on because it flicks it out. So when you first start it, you start really slow. The good thing is you can walk away from the mixer while it's working. Just start it slow and then just slowly speed up. Once it's mixed, you can get it going and it's supposed to be about 3 minutes. take that out. Lift that up. I'm just going to scrape down my sides, just in case there's any butter that hasn't been incorporated in the action of the beater. And I'm going to give it just another run. So press down, push. Do not force. Always press your lever down here to put the machine in. We bought these machines for the high tea. So the high tea was the purpose behind buying these machines. It just makes life a little bit easier when it comes to baking. So while that's mixing, I'm going to tell you this before I turn it on. I'm going to put my egg and my vanilla in here. Now it also says almond essence. You can put that in, but it's a bit of a personal preference. I don't really like it, so I don't tend to put it in. I just use the vanilla. So vanilla and an egg are going to go in here. I'm just going to go get an egg. It up. So guys can see the difference in colour now to what it was before. So it's a lot newer. Can you see the difference in colour? Yes, awesome. Now I'm going to add the egg and the vanilla. And we need to wait till that's beaten in well. So we've got 3 cups of flour and then 2 teaspoons of baking powder. 1, 2. That's our rising agent, but we don't want it to rise much, so we don't have a lot in there. And we're using plain flour. In there it says all-purpose flour. That's an American word for plain flour. Can you please take your headphones out of your ears? Thank you. Yeah, so all-purpose flour. Anytime you see all-purpose flour in a recipe, it's an American recipe, and that just means plain flour. Doesn't have any rising agents added into it. I'm just going to mix them in. And then I'm going to add the flour, maybe 1/4 cup at a time until it all comes together. It's going to be a very, very firm ball of dough, okay? It will start to labour a little bit because it's quite thick.
You have to come at lunch to eat it.
Pardon?
You have to come at lunch.
You can have a cookie as you go. It just won't be iced. Alright, so So it's quite a nice dough. Just want to punch it down so it all gets incorporated in there. And you want to give it a bit of a knead once you pull it out. So you're just going to get it together in a bit of a ball. So that's our dough now. This is my very favourite thing to cook in high tea. I really like making cookies. Now we're going to put a bit of flour on the board, on the tape bench. Move that out of the way. Out it comes. Get it all out, don't waste any. You should need it. I have to say that you should need it because it's got raw egg in it, and that is bad for you, but I must say I've never died from eating cake mix. So, right, so we're going to sprinkle a little bit of flour on there, and a bit of flour on our rolling pin. And you want to roll it out till just under 1 centimetre thick, sort of 8 millimetres or so, yes. You shouldn't. So raw egg is something you should not eat because eggs can have all kinds of bacteria in them. And you don't, no, listen to me, if you don't treat eggs respectfully, if they're treated incorrectly, they are a porous substance. So you've got to understand a chicken inside an egg can breathe. Okay, so the egg lets air in, so thus it will let moisture in. And if an egg is treated incorrectly, and then it gets the moisture inside it, or gets the bacteria inside of it, and then you eat it raw, then you're not going to be, if you cook it, you kill the bacteria. Okay, so you shouldn't eat raw eggs. So crazy people who drink raw eggs are taking the risk of getting salmonella. It's not a thing you want to get. Makes you really sick. Right, so from here we cut out our shapes. Now I have many shapes. I'll give you a few. So I have stars, just regular squares and circles. That's a cupcake. That's a nice leaf. Fish. Another kunda. So I have heaps and heaps and heaps of different ones you can use. Sky's the limit pretty much with your cutters. You can get them in any shape. Yes, Anthony?
Did you purposely get the leaf one to make it?
I got them because they were on sale. So anytime there's a really good sale, I get a cutter.
Where do you get them from?
At the moment you can get them from Spotlight, any cake shop. Woolies sells them. But the really... Guys, can you stop mumbling, please? The really specialised ones, you'll have to go to cake shops and stuff for. Like these ones I got in a pack, and there's one of each. There's 3 of each one in different sizes. So there's like a small, medium, and a large. So you try and cut them out as close to each other as possible. It has a unicorn. You've got to be careful with these little ones, though, when you're taking them off the board. Or when you're taking them off the cookie sheet. It's a pussycat. So there's all different shapes you can get. Makes it easy if you're doing a theme for a party. So guys, if you have any particular theme that you're working towards, then using a cutter that matches your theme would work. I even have thumbs up. So you just try and get as much out of your first roll as you possibly can. Flour. Okay. Try not to cut the other cookies, and then onto your cookie sheet. So you see they're quite thick, but they're not going to rise very much. So you want them to be reasonably thick. And it also makes them a sturdier cookie when you're decorating. So you just got to be careful. You can use a egg flip if you're a bit worried about picking them up. This is quite stable, this dough, so I'm not too worried. It's one of the leaves. Oh, that one's stuck. So I will use the lifter for that. Put it back. So that's a bit stuck. There we go. So just, you need about 1 centimetre between each cookie, okay? So they don't need to be as spaced apart as other cookies that spread. Okay, so that can go in. And you're just going to keep going until you don't have any more dough left. So you're just going to roll the dough back out again and keep going. So you just pull away the bit you're not using from the shape, especially that one like this that's a unicorn that's got really like delicate parts on it, like the horn and the legs. Go. Get my cupcake out. Right, so we're going to roll this back out again, bring it all together. Boys, shush. Stop talking, it's rude. Alright. Yeah, I should, but I'm just going to, it's not getting in the way. Alright. It's just a bit difficult. Alright. So, rolled out again, and just keep going. 1, 2, let's go an Eiffel Tower over here. So this one like can go right in the middle there, take up that space. You just choose ones that are going to fit. Next door sounds noisy. Go, this cat will fit here. This is a different cat, it's a leaping cat. Okay. Okay, that's another tray can go in. So my first mix did 2, 4, 6, about 30 cookies. So you can get about 30 cookies out of a batch. Okay, I'm just going to take these ones off and put them on mine. And you can just keep recycling your baking paper. You need to leave them on the cookie tray after they come out of the oven because they're very soft. So you've got to wait for them to cool, and as they cool, they get harder, they get firmer. They get firmer, and they don't break when you pick them up. Alright. Eiffel Tower. Now, we decorate these not with regular icing, but with royal icing. Now, the difference between royal icing and the icing we put on our cupcakes is that there's egg white in the icing. Now, once again, I said that you shouldn't eat raw egg. So we don't actually use raw egg, we use meringue powder. So in my box there is meringue powder. And you put a couple tablespoons of meringue powder, which is freeze-dried egg whites, basically. So I will show you how to make that probably tomorrow, and I'll have it pre-done so I can show you how to decorate them. So you can just decorate them like you would a cupcake with just using a knife and spreading on some thing, or you can actually do them. I'll show you a video tomorrow of the more intricate versions of decorating a cookie, because there are people out there who spend a long time on each cookie. When I sell cookies, I sell them for about $4 each. So if you want like
$4.
slightly bigger than this, so I go a bit bigger, and if you want it decorated specially, so if you want certain colours, if you want it to look exactly like SpongeBob SquarePants, then it's going to take me about 5 minutes per cookie to produce that for you, if not a bit longer. So it's all got to do with time and how much time, how valuable the time is. It's a bit sticky. Okay, so something that's going to be time consuming will be more expensive than something that isn't. So Just going to do some basic ones for the last two. Nope, not fit. Just want to find the one that fits. There we go. 1, 2. And just roll it out again. Some cookie dough recipes ask you to refrigerate the dough before you cut it. I choose this one because you don't have to refrigerate the dough. And of course, the phone rings. Hello, Michelle speaking. I haven't marked the roll next door because Peter's got them. Okay.